we've swapped our camper van for a kayak and we're going to be spending the next 2 days camping out in the Noosa Everglades. I think we must be the first people to walk this path today, as I'm constantly getting spider's webs in the face. We are now in the Glasshouse Mountains, and today we are climbing up Mount Ngungun. We've made it to the top, and the views are so good. We're James and Amy, and we recently quit our jobs to travel for a year. Bit rainy. After spending 3 months in New Zealand, we're now in Australia. Join us as we road trip up the east coast, from Sydney to Cairns. We've just arrived at our campsite in Lamington National Park. It's called Binna Lodge and it's right in the middle of the rainforest. It was quite a steep, windy track to get up here. I think we're now at about 800 metres of elevation, so it's a lot cooler here. It's actually quite nice. It was pretty hot down at Byron Bay level, but it does look like it might start to rain soon, so we're going to have to bring our raincoats with us. So yeah, we're here for a few days and our plan is to try and do as many walks as we can. There's supposed to be some really nice hikes in this area. But yeah, we just had our lunch and now we're going to go and head off for our first hike. We've got to clean our boots first to remove any organisms that might be harmful to the rainforest. There's a wallaby through there. I've not seen one yet. Saw this on the path in front of us. Kind of looks like a lime, but I don't see any lime trees. You can tell how dense this rainforest is by how dark it is. It's still daylight out, but it feels like we're walking at night. Good morning. We just woke up at our campsite in Lamington National Park and it's such a nice morning today. I thought I would do a quick tour of this campsite. It's one of my favourites that we've stayed in so far. It's right in the middle of the rainforest. So this is where we're parked, underneath these trees. It's a powered site as well, so we've got our hook up here and that means that we can charge everything in the van without having to be moving. We've got an outdoor kitchen here with barbecues, so that's where we've been cooking our dinner. Over here is the amenities block, so a couple of toilets, another kitchen and a laundry as well, which is really useful. We've used that. Then down here there are some campsites and an outdoor seating area with a fire pit, so that's really nice. And this is the best bit of the whole campsite. Over here we've got a bar with this amazing view out across the national park. So this is the Bushwalkers Bar. We went in there last night and we're probably going to go back in again tonight. It's got a fire pit outside and it's got this view out across the national park. So that's definitely the highlight of this campsite. We've just left our campsite and come back out into the rainforest to do another walk. This morning we are doing the Dave's Creek Circuit track, which I don't know anything about other than it's the most popular walk in the area, so hopefully it should be good. Look at that web down there. I bet there is a scary spider in there. is. It's very chunky and shiny. Amy just used Seek, which is this flora and fauna identification app. It's really good, and it thinks it's a type of skink, but it's not quite sure. I think we must be the first people to walk this path today, as I'm constantly getting spider's webs in the face. The only solution is to walk like this. We've just been walking along this overgrown path, and then this lookout just came out of nowhere. We just made it back to our campsite. It was raining for the last few kilometres, so I couldn't film much, and that's why I'm still a bit damp. But yeah, it was a really nice walk. It was around 12 kilometres in total, and I think it took us about 3 hours. So yeah, highly recommend the Dave's Creek circuit. We're just gonna have our lunch now, and then have a shower, and then I think we're gonna head to the Bushwalkers Bar for a couple of schooners. Schooner time.
Cheers.
We left Lamington National Park and started making our way to the Glasshouse Mountains, a cluster of volcanic peaks named by Lieutenant James Cook as they reminded him of the glass furnaces in his Yorkshire hometown. Good morning. We're now in the Glasshouse Mountains, and today we are climbing up Mount Ngungun. It's one of the smaller of the Glasshouse Mountains, but it's meant to be the most scenic of the ones that you're actually allowed to climb. It's only around 250 metres in elevation, so pretty similar to Arthur's Seat in Edinburgh, but the views should be really nice from the top. We tried to start early this morning to avoid the heat, but I am already dripping with sweat. Whew.
Oh, cool.
We've made it to the top. It really didn't take very long, around 15-20 minutes, and the views are so good. There are lots of midges up here though, like there's like a cloud of them right on the top, so I'm gonna head down a little bit. Okay, I've changed out of my sweaty clothes and we're out on another hike. We're doing the Mount Tibrogargan circuit hike, which is a 4-kilometre loop around Mount Tibrogargan. Originally we were hoping to climb either Mount Tibrogargan or Mount Tinbeerwah, which are supposed to be two really nice summit hikes. But as I was researching these two hikes, I read that two of the local indigenous groups have basically said these mountains are culturally significant to them and have requested that people don't climb them. So we decided that we wanted to be respectful of this and to not climb the mountains and to appreciate them from the bottom. It's a bit weird because in all of the information centres they're advertising these summit hikes, so you can't really blame people that go up and do it. We just wanted to respect that request, and enjoying mountains isn't always about standing on top of them. We've got a pretty amazing view from here. That is Mount Tibrogargan up there. It's so tall. So we've just finished the loop and now we're heading back to the car park. That was a really nice walk and I don't feel like we were missing out by not standing on top of the mountain. We had really nice views of it the whole time. But yeah, it was fairly easy. There was a tiny bit of elevation at the beginning, but it was pretty much flat the whole time. So I definitely recommend that walk if you are in the area. After spending a day in the Glasshouse Mountains, we've now come to Noosa, where we're going to be for the next few days. The sun is just starting to set, so we've come to Mount Tinbeerwah lookout. Apparently there's supposed to be a really nice view for sunset. We've just reached the top and found a spot to sit and wait for the sun to go down. Good morning. Today we're doing the National Park track, which is a 10-kilometre return along the coast of Noosa National Park. And so far, it's looking so nice. We're now making our way down to Fairy Pools, which involves coming off the path and scrambling down these rocks a bit. It's just down there. There it is down there. The water is so clear. We've just left Fairy Pools, which were very nice but very busy. And now we're dropping down to this beach. I think it's called Alexandria Bay. And we're going to follow it along to Sunshine Beach where we finish. And then well, not really finish, we turn around and then come back again. But this is such a nice beach. It kind of looks like, was it Kylie's beach that we saw in Crowdy Bay? That is Sunshine Beach down behind me. So we're going to drop down now and hopefully we can find somewhere to go and get an iced coffee. If not, it's another 5 kilometres back in that direction. We just checked into our campsite in Noosa. And look at this amazing view we've got. We're staying in Noosa River Holiday Park, and they've got these riverside pitches available for just a few dollars more, and it definitely seems worth it. Today we're doing something really exciting. We've swapped our camper van for a kayak, and we're going to be spending the next 2 days camping out in the Noosa Everglades. So we've just picked up the kayak and all of our camping equipment, and now we're just following a map out to our campsite, which is around 4 hours away. We've just come into this narrow river channel, and the water is so flat, it's so calm and peaceful, it's really nice. The sun is starting to get low in the sky, and we're about 15 to 20 minutes from our campsite. That was surprisingly tough. The estimated time was around 4 hours, but it's taken us closer to 5.5. I don't really know why. The estimates, I think, were just very ambitious because we're not especially bad kayakers. We've done a few kayaks, and sea kayaking is harder than this. But yeah, it's taken us longer than I thought it would. But yeah, as soon as we get there, we've got to see how we set up this tent that they've given us, and then we're going to get our dinner on. We've just arrived at our campsite and finished setting up our tent. This thing is massive. I'm so used to sleeping in 2-person tents. This one is like a palace. Show it for size comparison. Walk into it.
I don't even do I have to duck.
She barely has to duck. Just cooking up our dinner on the Trangia stove. We haven't just made a pass in. That's because the middle gets very hot, so we can only cook on the outside. Good morning. We've just packed up our campsite, and now we're trying to figure out the game of Tetris to fit all of our stuff into the kayak so that we can head back. It wasn't an amazing sleep last night. It was pretty nice to sleep in a palace-sized tent, but it wasn't very comfortable. So, not an amazing sleep. But now it is time to head back to where we started to drop the kayaks back. Bit rainy. We've made it back. It only took 3.5 hours on the way back, even though it took us 5.5 on the way out there. I'm not really sure why. It might be because we were paddling upriver yesterday, whereas today we're paddling downriver, so maybe that made quite a big difference. Or maybe we're just really strong after yesterday. Yeah. Let's get back to dry land because I'm drenched. Today's our last day in Noosa before we head to Rainbow Beach tomorrow. We've had quite a tiring last couple of days in the Everglades, so we're just going to have a chilled day today. We've got our acai bowls, sitting by the beach. As we wandered down to the beach, we discovered that apparently today was the Noosa Dog Surfing Championships.
First time!
Another amazing sunset for our last night in Noosa. We are heading to Gari, also known as Fraser Island, which will involve 2 nights camping and seeing all of the most amazing sights on the island. So blue. This here is Whitehaven Beach, which many people call the best beach in the world. And you can kind of see why. It's taken 5 weeks, but we've finally seen our first wild koalas. And we saw 2 of them. So good.